Roberts, Croatia, and we go to BVI, Caribbean. Like a kind of sleepy town now because there's no tourists. We have a great crew on a boat. Now they're getting ready to do the ropes. We got the fenders. We're expecting no wind for the 2 days, so probably just engine towards Brindisi, 300 nautical miles. It's gonna be calm for the next few days, so everybody gets used to the boat, where their stuff is, toothbrush, towel, food. And here's our first watch team number 1. Navigation officers. Well, they have to do passage plan, logbooks. Somebody else has to know also where we're going in case they drop me in the water so they can find land. We're teaching our officers how to use this machine, which puts the position on our map so people know where we are. It works via satellite and we can call for help, and we have insurance, search and rescue insurance via this machine. It's great. We have 3 shifts, and here's the schedule. It looks like this, so it tells you who and when is working. And here we have a whistle and a knife, so you can just pull it out, use the knife for the ropes, or use this, which means all hands on board, we're gonna crash. It's like alert. We've been on the sea for 3 hours and these guys already doing some strange thing. Well, I'm definitely not gonna be doing this. Why would you do that? The summer body is made in winter. We're slowly getting close to the island of Loshin, where we do police. We refuel tanks and then we go straight to Italy. This is the difference between like Mediterranean type and British type. So I have a wool sweater, wool shirt and this, and he's wearing shorts and t-shirts. It's summer, he says. These are the last islands of Croatia. We have Mali Lošinj, Premuda here, and we go down there towards Brindisi. We have a full moon. And down here you can see. And this is great because all night it's gonna be super light, so you can see everything. It's much more pleasant to sail. We could have more wind. It's really warm. There's probably like 1 knot of wind. This is day 2 and there is absolutely 0 wind outside. It's totally calm. It's actually very nice. We have good weather, sun and 0 wind. And down there you can see this is the island of Vis, Croatia, island of Svetac, and we passed Jabuka early morning. We're now in the international waters and there's some serious gambling going on the boat, because here it's legal now. Yesterday there were just 2 guys having some strange disease, doing something, and it just spreads out, you know, in a small place. This disease just spread around, and these guys are doing, I have no idea what. They're like getting kind of crazy. I don't know what kind of virus this is, but it's spreading around the boat. And I read that chocolate, peanut butter and chips is the best cure for this disease. With beer, of course, 3 times per day. Here at Palagruja, always wanted to come here. It's Croatian island. It's in the middle of Adriatic. Halfway to Italy, halfway to Croatia. Amazing. More Palagruja island. Here there's a small beach. And there's one catamaran and another boat. And of course we had a swim here in Palagruja. And this water is around 200 meters deep. Some sharks. And this is the nearest island. Our master chef is doing his specialty. It's toast with ham and eggs and butter and pesto. This is the haiku sandwich. Thank you very much.
It tastes good. A bit salty, but we're on salt water, so it needs to be tasting salty, doesn't it?
Entering Italian waters, it's time for their flag. Mamma mia, spaghetti.
Pizza, pasta. Ciao, hasta luego.
That was Spanish.
Okay.
Carbonara, pizza, bolognese.
this is Italy, and we start from North Croatia, sail down, stopped on Palagruja here for the swim, and now we're going down here to Brindisi, and then we're gonna go around Messina, stop at Lipari Islands, and then cross Mediterranean, Viva Sardinia and Ibiza, eventually get to Gibraltar, go on the rock, and then do a long crossing down to Canary Islands. The real sailor's breakfast: 2 liters of milk, bunch of muesli, and just dig in. We're burning so much calories, it's hard keeping up.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna squeeze through this small passage and get to the old town of Brindisi. It's a long way to get in here, long bay. So we have docked here in Brindisi, we've done the papers with the police, and we're good to go. Here we are on the steps in Brindisi. Down there, this is our boat here. So my cure worked only for one person. So it only worked for him, but the important thing is that it worked. Stopped in Brindisi for the documents, then went around the hill, and now we're down here. This La Castelia, I've been once here, has a tiny harbor. Just docked here in La Castelia. It's like a very small, sleepy town, but kind of good energy. A lot of history around this town. It's very nice. We're about to go on. Seems like there's some lightning. Finally sailing, no engines. We have a speed of 7 knots, having 50 knots of wind. It's great. Full sails, great wind. You can see the speed of the boat behind. Good speed. Can't complain. Just reefed mainsail because it got very windy. We have one reef now. We have the crew doing their passage plan and figuring out where we are, where we go, because we have 3 shifts and every shift must have their own passage plan, just to make sure everybody knows where we go, what we want to do. What are we having for dinner today?
Tuna, hopefully.
Tuna!
Got something? Oh, I guess it's on.
We caught a fish. Oops. Fisherman and master chef doing the fish. It's super early morning and we just arrived to Lipari Islands. So this is Marina on Lipari Islands. Our boat is down there. It's a very nice, pleasant island. And it seems like it's still season here because there's loads of charter boats. So down there it's Stromboli, the famous volcano. For this one, and the view just opens. Now it's mid-October, I think it's the best time to visit this island, otherwise it's too hot. We have around 20 degrees now, it's perfect weather. In the summer I would say it's way too crowded, way too hot. We are leaving Lipari Islands and there is a big sailboat here and it's very nice view from here, just passing the beautiful island. We go towards Palermo. We try to refuel here, but it's closed from 1 to 4, Italy, and it's also super expensive, so we'll just go to Palermo. It's cheaper. And super early morning here in Palermo. We just came here to the fuel station to have some diesel, and then we go towards Ibiza, probably directly. It's going to take us 3.5 up to 4 days, depending from the winds. And it's actually very nice here. This is like a super nice rock marina, and Palermo town is in here. The interesting thing is that Sicily itself has 5 million people. That's a lot a lot. We're now exiting Palermo, and just as going away from the fuel dock, we got like super crazy vibrations in the engine and the propeller, so it just seems like it was just a plastic bag, but we're still now just using one engine to exit and have a dive to make sure nothing is left on the propeller. Spectacular.
Easy.
It's tricky, the winds keep changing direction, the parent wind keeps changing, but we are getting there. Just using one engine. And we have Schwarzenegger here doing his.
I'll be back.
It is the day 8 and we are sailing from Sicily, which is far down from Palermo. We're going to Ibiza, which is down there, and we're gonna pass by Sardinia just like to pick up a good weather forecast. Fully sailing, doing around 6 knots. The only problem we have is we're not catching any fish, so this rod is just sitting here not doing anything. But these are our fishermen, you see, and that's exactly why we're not catching anything, because they're sleeping on the watch, probably sleeping fishing. They don't even know the fish is there. We've just increased our speed by more than like almost 1 knot by using a few sailors tricks. One is when you use the Genoa, you see this point is just too way close to the center, so we're using this line attached to the cleat to open the Genoa more and to close the upper part. It touches these wires, eventually wears out. So the trick is to put the rope here, attach it to the boom, and then tension the main sheet, and that's how you can have your mainsail open much more. It makes a huge difference on the speed, but still maintaining a safe button distance to the shrouds. Our crew is super busy reading books, and our fisherman, main fisherman Heiko, is just reading some new stuff, new knots and baits to catch more fish. And we're cruising at about 6 knots downwind, no stress, using 0 fuel. I'm now taking the local noon, so every 2 minutes we're gonna take the angle and right time and trying to find when the sun is at the highest point, that's local noon, and the time, and then it's super easy to calculate our longitude and latitude. So what you do is you find the sun, take an angle, and then you say it's now, so the other person has to write down the time and you tell the angle, and then every 2 minutes you keep going, and it's very simple.
This big, huh?
Between the eyes.
Between the eyes.
I think it's 8 kilos.
You go 8, 6.5, I said 5 to 6. What's gonna be the weight of the fish?
I say 4.3.
4.3.
5.1.
Heiko, what's the size of the fish?
27.
Weight.
Size.
Weight.
The weight. 4 kilo.
4 kilo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Oh, nice.
James, the fisherman who caught this,
Hang on.
the biggest fish till now. That was a big one.
It was.
It was. The James is the master chef, and you can see, like, it's like in a TV show. You see, it's everything is set. So, what are you doing, James?
Having fish tacos, having the wraps, with some vegetables, some cheese, fresh fish.
Our tacos was amazing. So now Heiko has a big competition in the kitchen. So we'll see what the future brings us. Who's gonna be the master chef? Today is the day, I don't know anymore. We are 150 or 250 miles from Ibiza, sailing from Sicily, so we're in the middle of Mediterranean. It's probably the most like remote place in the Mediterranean it can be. There's nothing. Wherever you turn, there's nothing. So this is us, and we go here to Ibiza. So So you can see we are in the middle of the Mediterranean. We started here, went around Italy, stopped Lipari Islands, Palermo, and now going directly to Ibiza.
Beautiful meat here. Oh, yummy. And that's the tuna sandwich.
Oh, we're in Ibiza, and this is the great Ibiza sunshine party. I don't know why everybody's talking about Ibiza. It's terrible weather here. Look at this. We're down there in the marina, walked around. This is like an old town. We're slowly getting ready to go towards Gibraltar. It's down there. Around 3 days probably. Have a rest and then Canary Islands. So sailing from Ibiza, having some winds, some waves. So we're having 20 knots, going towards Gibraltar. Here's the top trio crew. So having around 20 knots from the side, doing 6 to 7 knots of speed, and we're here sailing from Ibiza down towards Gibraltar. Not very comfortable, but there's more boats. So one is down there, there's a monohull, and then there's another boat down there which we can hardly see. Today is the day between 12 and 15, I have no idea. And
We saw a shark today. There's a bird in front and it was circling water. And so we pulled up next to it and there was a shark. How big was it? 10 feet? 8 feet? Yeah, in the water right next to the boat with its fin up.
there's loads of army boats around us. So one is down there, 2 are there, and there's one just approaching us. They were going directly on us, but then they changed the course now. This is Klaus' favorite chair. It's the chair, junk food chair. It's from here you have access to all the junk we have on the boat.
Perfect space, you know?
And the fruit is far enough away you cannot reach it, but the chocolate is close enough. This is the best seat on the boat.
Best seat in the boat. The only bad thing is you can't steer from here.
Here, this is South Spain. Gibraltar is down here. And you can see how many boats there are around us. So all these ships, it's ice system. These are all mostly cargo ships, because all the Mediterranean boats eventually have to squeeze for Suez, Egypt or Gibraltar. So there's a bunch of fish jumping in front of us here and here. It's crazy, there's so much fish. So we just turn there and let's hope we hook something. Catch some good tuna now. Taking a hard ride to go in the middle of the fish with a hook.
Get that hook out.
There's still loads of fish jumping around. You see, the fish is there, but our line is going like this, so of course we don't catch anything. We'll just have canned tuna again. Canned tuna and tins. Oh no! Woohoo! We have a fish! Woohoo! That's a fish!
Easy, 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 easy.
And this time again, him, huh?
Yep.
I mean, this is the biggest one we've seen because this rod is probably gonna break.
Nice fish!
Hook it.
Oh my fucking god. Take the hook up. Hook it.
Otherwise it wouldn't fit in.
There we got him. You say 4 people?
That's the new standard. This is not fast forward. This is James pulling the 20-kilo fish out of the water because there's loads of sharks and he doesn't want to share the fish with the sharks.
Yeah.
That's a small one. Should we release it because we have so much fish?
Okay, we can release it. I'll get the.
You want to take a photo of it? Thank
Here
you.
it is. This one goes back to get bigger. Swim fish, just swim away. So we're approaching Gibraltar and our crew is very worried. Why is that?
There's so many boats.
There's too many boats.
There's too many boats.
All of these boats are boats around us going to Gibraltar. After you give a fish to Heiko, you get this back. Too much stuff inside, not enough tortilla. And this is the tortilla alla maestro avec tuna. But so many mosquitoes, I probably killed 20 mosquitoes yesterday, 2 days ago. Here's another one, you can see the size. It's a huge mosquito and they're super slow, lazy mosquitoes. Praying for the wind like every day.
Yeah, that's the wind ray, yeah.
There's a serious game going on.
So he had.
Nobody's smiling, they're super serious. Let's see what Swedish is gonna make.
Some pasta.
Pasta, that's Italian, that's not Swedish.
Tuna.
Tuna, okay,
Veggies.
onions. You have your cooking hat.
It's my cooking hat.
It looks
Sponsor from Telenor. Thank you, Jon.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
So let's hear what's here. Oh, the Swedish water. So tuna pasta with all kinds of vegetables mixed like this, and we can give all the best to our Swedish cook for a good job.
Very good. Clean water, one-time users, soap we could get shaving foam. Improve life.
And this is German perfection. That's why German cars are the best, because they pay such good attention to the detail and nothing gets missed. It's almost midnight and we're coming into Gibraltar, and so here we have a radar. This is a chart plotter and you can see how many boats are around. This is only 3 miles, so there's a bunch of boats around us, and we're going in here, and this is another bunch of boats, and we're gonna stay here for a couple of days until we continue down to Canary Islands. So this is not a boat, this is a giant crane floating machine. Yesterday night we sailed here into the Spain, which is just next to the Rock of Gibraltar. It's beautiful anchorage here, it's only 4 or 5 meters deep, quite good holding. We're gonna spend here 3 days because we're waiting for better winds to get to Canaries. Right now there's no winds, so in 3 days we'll get some following winds, so use less fuel, sail more. That's what we want to do. And this place is actually very interesting. You have a like kind of beautiful town on this side, Spain, and then here we have the Rock of Gibraltar. We're in Spain right now, but the fuel is way much cheaper in Gibraltar, which is just 10 minutes away. So we'll go there, refuel, come back, go to Marina, because we would like to wash the boat, Gibraltar, and this is the rock. is down there is a floating hotel, and we're gonna refuel here at Cepsa. And down there, this is Spain and the marina where we're gonna go later. So now we're just waiting in a line for the fuel. 700 liters and paid 550 euros, which is a pretty good price for the fuel. Walking the Mediterranean steps up to Gibraltar Rock. So these are the steps. It's quite a walk, it's around 400 meters, vertical meters to get up. Almost on the top. I made it to the top now. Up there's like a big gun, and you can see Africa. And this is the Strait of Gibraltar, Spain, and this is this big bay.
It's heavy, no? It's a heavy one.
So these monkeys are pretty aggressive. If you have a backpack behind you, they're gonna jump on you, open the rucksack, take out the food and eat it. So it's good to have whatever you have like this or in front, so you can see the monkey, and then it seems like it's better. But it's pretty dangerous, like they can bite you. Spanish delicacy, and I had a really hard time opening it, and then finally once I open it I figure out that this is all that's in here. See? So like the package itself is twice bigger than what's inside. See? And I really hate it. I hate when you buy things with a big package and there's nothing inside. So we have just left Gibraltar and we're going to Canary Islands. And down there you can see the Rock of Gibraltar. We're having a sunrise. And then on the other side there's Africa. Hard to see it now. This is Europe, this is Africa, and this is Strait of Gibraltar. We are right here going through, and then we're gonna turn south. We're gonna go down to Canary Islands. Do you know what's better than going with the winds? It's going with the current. So right now we have 1 knot current going for Gibraltar because our speed of ground is 6.8 and our boat speed through water is 5.9, which means we have 1 current following us. So we are here in the middle of Gibraltar Strait and the separation zone is not here, so it's kind of a chaos. Everybody's going left, right, and so that is not enough because there's a bunch of fishermen. You see all those small guys? They're fishermen, and there's nets all over the place. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and that was another net, 5, 6. I can see 6 nets around here. So they're fishing in the middle of the Gibraltar Strait between the old world traffic going in and out. That's exactly where they're fishing. That's us. This is our course over ground. We go here. So we have 585 miles to go. And we want to stay quite away from Morocco because of the nets and fishermen. So this is like 200 meters here. And this is 4 kilometers. So hopefully this is around 70 miles away from shore. So it just seems like a healthy distance. Day 1 sailing to Canaries is slowly getting to the sunset. We have 8 knots of wind, doing around 4 knots over ground because we have like good winds from here. No fish in the last 2 days, so our fishermen are back to the basic vegetables. They don't look very happy. They have to do chicken with the vegetables. And this is a terrible day for fishermen like they are. They're used to catching big tuna, mahi-mahi.
pasta bolognese.
This is pasta bolognese. This is, I guess, this is bolognese and this is pasta. You mix together, you get pasta bolognese. So this is the setting for doing sextant astronavigation. I have a sextant here, and then I have this chart of Atlantic. It's a little bit too big, but it does the job. And then I have all the size reduction, almanac, increments, corrections, and other tables. And then I do my calculation on this list, which is super good. Just follow. And this is my plotting sheet. For now, it just seems like I'm doing pretty well. And the good thing is here, it's a good place, you know, to have stuff around. It's a very good corner. And I have an instrument here, so I can check, you know, all the log stuff. And I put log on this paper. So it's actually really good because I can read all the information here without going out or wherever. So this is the good stuff of the... So this is the good side of the catamarans. Right now we're having 20 knots. Earlier it was actually 25 gusting. We're doing up to 7-8 knots, sailing almost downwind, 150 triangle. I just finished pasta bolognese. They're doing some dishes. It's super comfortable. We have a big problem with navigational lights because they're positioned so stupidly that they reflect from the deck, and then at night you don't see well, it's too bright. So you can here see my new invention, which is just a like piece of this box and a few these zip ties. This is it, my invention is done. We have a big cargo ship and a sunset cruising around 8 knots of speed down towards Canaries, around 22 knots of wind, gusts up to 25. And here it is, my invention. Because you can see here, this light just reflects, and then up on the helm you don't see well the net, the boat. Now day 4, crossing to Canaries. During the night we had huge winds up to 42 knots. We're overpowered on 40 knots down the waves. I had to reef eventually to the second reef, and the boat calmed down. Now in the morning the winds switched. Oh! That was a dolphin. Gibraltar, us, Canary Islands, and we have around 170 nautical miles left to Lanzarote. We're having 50 knots of wind. And one of the things I was crazy about all the time is leaving stuff around the boat. We're on a boat. And right here we have another full untended cup of coffee. So after 3 weeks people still don't get it. They still forget stuff because this boat feels like home. And then people think they're home and they just leave stuff around. And still doing it after 3 weeks. Going directly towards Canaries. We have a little bit of current, but otherwise doing around 6 knots speed over ground downwind. And that's how sailing around here should be. The dolphins are still following us. They've been with us for what, half an hour or more now. They seem to like us.
Yeah, is it small?
It's very small. Be a hero, release it.
Yeah, it's small.
Alright, she lives! We have this junk food box. And funny thing is, like yesterday I was looking at some chips, and then you come now like hoping to take the chips, and that's not there because there's so many of us. So actually if you want something you have to take it immediately, because next day somebody else might like already take it. I just found a solution for the sweet box. As humans we are like naturally kind of lazy. I'm gonna put the good stuff under and the stuff people don't want to have so much above, and obviously because we're lazy we're just going to take the first wing and not dig in to get to the good stuff. And then safety wise we have a bunch of safety equipment. We could have more, but I think we're like way over what we need, but it's I guess never too much. So we have this like horseshoe with a light. We have a self-inflatable dent buoy. So this, you just throw in the water, it inflates, and then it looks like this. So it's like a big stick, and with a light, so you can find the person, you know, like position him in the big waves. And on the other side, here we have another ring because we had to have a Solas one. So this is like the serious, like big ship ring with a light and with everything. And then we have this huge big life raft with this Solas approved. This is like a life raft for the commercial ship. It's like a really serious stuff. We have a bunch of flares in here, and we have Nautex here. This thing, I send a position of the boat on my webpage. I can call for help via Iridium. I can text message via Iridium, and I also have a search and rescue insurance via this thing. It's in Ridge, the Lorm. It was just recently bought by Garmin. So I think this is like the most valuable thing on this boat. You know it works, it's small, it's a great thing. And then we have this Inmarsat C. So we had to install this because the Croatian register just wants you to have this. It's kind of like satellite communicator. You get messages, weather forecast, alerts. I think it's a little bit like overkill for what we need, or way too expensive, but we just had to have it, so we have it. We have a really good searchlight. Maybe it looks small, but this is a really good 1000 lumen LED searchlight, super strong if you have to search for somebody. Life jackets. So we use this inflatable life jackets with this harness so you can hook yourself. We have put a rope, you see this yellow lifeline that goes all the way around the boat, so you can always hook yourself somewhere. When you fall in the water, the light goes on automatically, so we can like position you. Here we have grab bags ready. So this high visible grab bag. Inside we have an APRB, this big one. We have a SART transmitter, not search and rescue, so the others can see on the radar, all other boats. We have a handheld VHF here. So this is always here ready to take. And there's another one which contains a little bit of food. And then in case of going to the life raft, we have water jugs outside. So it's all kind of ready to, you know, put it in a life raft or whatever if you have to leave boat in emergency. Interesting, we just got like an urgent distress saying about piracy. So basically it's saying there was a piracy attack on the motor vessel. Alert, unknown vessel adrift, and then it gives you approximate coordinates. Firing practice in East Mediterranean around Cyprus. Naval training in Black Sea. So now it's time to take the second sun sight of the day. The last one was 3 hours ago, so it's enough time passed to take a new line of position and then to get like our fix, our position. Sextant safe in the box, and then once you're ready, you take a sextant, you put this on your hand, you go outside, take a measurement, and then immediately everything should be here, so you can just write down the time, the angles. I have just done the best sextant work in the last month, and I was accurate 7 nautical miles, which means the real GPS position and where I calculated is only 7 miles apart. And that is really, really, really good. And this is Celestine Navigation by David Birch. This is the best ever sextant book I had. It's like super simple. I mean, there's a lot of information. You see, this book is, you see, there's a lot of stuff in here. But it's super simple. It goes step by step. Learns you very quickly how to do everything. And then later, if you want to go, you can go in depth, and gives you also all in-depth information so you can understand what you're doing. So just got woken up by these noises, so you can probably hear the propeller on camera. So just by listening to the propeller and movement, I'm assuming right now that we have over 20 knots of wind, and our speed is around 7 knots, and we're surfing down up to 10 knots, and it's gonna be interesting. I'm pretty right, we have around 22 knots of wind, and the boat speed is 8.3. And now it's a question, like, if it keeps going up another 5-6 knots, then probably before the night I want to put another reef. We're flying downwind. And if we keep going like this, we'll be in Canary Islands tomorrow. They're just in front of us. We have a perfect angle. We're sailing direct towards them. We have one reef in the mainsail, just in case. This is how it looks approaching the Canary Islands. This is Graciosa Island. We're remote and there's a nice anchorage with a nice beach. We're gonna go there and then tomorrow we go on. There's a small passage. This is Lanzarote here, and this is the island between we go for the anchorage. Just anchored here on La Graciosa. It's really beautiful, spectacular, a little bit windy. Down there it's a party boat. And we have a beautiful beach down there. Many boats, but not too bad. And down there, this all is Lanzarote.